Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Building Southlake. So today it is a even number, well, not just an even number, it's a round number. Is that the right way to describe it? It's not level, I can't think of anything. It is episode 90. We finally got there after like 7 tries. So every 10 parts we do a city tour, and that's exactly what we are doing today. So today we're going to be showing you the city all around and showing you some of the newer stuff, a lot of the older stuff as well, because there is a lot more old stuff than new stuff at the moment, and technically it's always going to be like that if you actually think about it. But how about we take a nice little look at everything. So the first thing we're going to look at is the maps. So the city is actually taking place on 2 maps at this point. So we actually have 2 maps now. So the first one looks like this. Pretty full, right? I mean, it actually has a lot more color to it ever since some of the updates. You can see the nice big stadium over there. You can see, you know, a lot of the older buildings that we have over here. And, you know, this part of the city is very good. I like this part of the city. I like some of the building designs. But I think the newer downtown area will be a lot better when it's all said and done. And that's if it's ever done, because it probably won't be. Let's see. So where do we want to start? We might just like start right here. So this area right here is actually one of my favorite areas in the entire downtown, just in the entire map. Reason for that is I like skyscrapers, I like stuff like that, but I also like smaller buildings, because when you get the smaller buildings correct and you get unique designs with them, you can become an amazing city. You can make something awesome. I mean, skyscrapers are great and every city has them, but you also have to remember that there's more smaller buildings than skyscrapers in real life, unless you live in New York, and then it's just stupid how many skyscrapers they have. Yeah, but that's actually one of my favorite parts of the city, is just that little row of, smaller buildings, because when you come to the other side of them, it really makes the skyscrapers stand out that much more, because you have these smaller buildings and then you just have these huge ones right next to it. I mean, that just makes it look 10 times better in my opinion, just having the outlines of everything. These take less time to build, which is also a fantastic, feature to them. But in my opinion, they also look the best, and they can make your city, they can make or break your city in my opinion. Over here we have the museum. I know, again, a lot of this is older stuff, and we will get to the newer stuff, but that will come more towards the end a little bit. So this, I almost said stadium. The museum is actually, one of my other favorite buildings, because I like the trees in front of it. I like the big pillar designs of them. And one of the next things I want to work on is a government building. I'm just, again, had to find room. That's the main thing when it comes to everything right now, is finding room for it and where does it belong. Because I see a lot of your guys' comments talking about, hey, can you build an airport now, or can you, do this? A lot of people are asking for different stuff, but you also have to remember that I'm not just putting stuff in random places. I want to kind of make it feel like it's supposed to be there. I want it to have a purpose. I don't want it to look out of place. And that's one of the hardest things about when you're trying to plan a city, is just all that going on. And I'm just trying to figure out how exactly I want to do all that, because I do want to build an airport, but an airport, if we want to build it to the correct scale, takes up a lot of room. So we're going to need as much room as we can possibly get. So some of the newer skyscrapers in the city are these right here. And this actually originally was only a parking lot, but then I wanted to add a parking garage on top of it, to kind of expand the more verticality of the older downtown areas. So these are a lot of the newer skyscrapers, which I love. My favorite one is this one right here, though. For some reason, this one is still my favorite building in the entire downtown, in the entire city, because it just has so many different angles to it. I love the black colored wool. I think the white stained glass on the end, the glass panes, really does a lot for it as well. It's just, I love the excuse me. I love the design of this building so much, and it's just one of my favorite buildings, because no matter what angle you look at it from, there's always something unique about it. I mean, even the back here, if we fly it back here, it looks kind of plain, but when you look at it from the side, it actually goes out and then back in. So it actually has a lot of features to it that you don't really notice at first. Again, one of my other favorite buildings is this one, just because I like the color of it. It's very soothing, but it's also very modern at the same time, and it looks realistic. And one of my favorite things about this building in general is the base of the building. Now, I've actually started to mention this a lot more in some of my recent videos, but the base of a building is so critical when it comes to making skyscrapers, because most skyscrapers don't just stand on top. They don't just go straight vertically up, like some of these here. They actually have a pretty big base to them if you look, And so I think the base for me is the hardest thing to come up with because it's the thing closest to the ground. I want it to look the most unique. So it's, for me, really hard to come up with that. So a lot of older stuff. Ooh, I know what we can go look at. We can go look at the mall, which I'm not sure how many of you guys have seen it. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it, but if you have not, we will still go over there because, hey, why not? Man, my throat's just like killing me today. So over here is the mall. So the mall is pretty big, still in work in progress. I mean, still not even close to being done. But, you know, it is getting there when I actually do work on it. I have been very busy working on the newer parts of the city. So I've not gotten around to finishing up this yet. But you can see the overall design of all the stores, the parking garages, and stuff like that incorporated all into one. We have the nerd store here. So some of my future plans is I want to have a big parking lot right here for the mall. And then on the other side of the parking lot, I actually want to have a sports complex. More just like, you know, soccer parks and soccer fields, stuff like that, you know, for, you know, so you can take your kids to go play sports and stuff like that. A recreational area might be the better way to describe it. But that's my plan for over here. But again, we're still far away from getting to that. We still have a lot more stuff to do. But in overall, the mall is pretty decent, I think. I could have made it a little bit bigger. And when I say bigger, I mean taller. To me, it's just not the correct scale and height. But it's a little bit too late to change it at this point. Let's see. Let's fly over to the newer parts of the city. That's, I know what you guys are all dying to see here. So we're going to fly over here. So we're flying. And we're almost there. We're getting there. And so a lot of the parts of the newer downtown, you're going to see have a lot more highway connections and stuff like that. Along with this, so we have, you know, things going up onto the other, you know, existing highways. You have off and on ramps. You have an off ramp here going onto this road. You have a connection going above the highway, connecting to the other highway. You know, there's a lot more sophisticated roads going on here. You're actually going to see a lot more turning roads and stuff like that here because they do look better and they are more realistic if you think about it. Another one of my favorite things about this new part of the city is it has a little bit more verticality to it and it has more hills and stuff like that. It's not completely flat. But I do like how right here I'm actually starting to add in more realism, and you can see that going into a lot of these newer designs is a lot more realism into things. If you go under any underpass, you can actually see stuff like this, you know, connecting. You know, it's not the most realistic thing out there right now, and I still want to get better at that kind of stuff. But it's definitely a great start getting there. The highway is finally expanded. We have tall grass here in the middle just to add more appeal to it. And then we fly over here to the new park area. Like, I don't want to call it a park, but it is a park at the same time. So we have some apartments right here and more apartments down there. A office building, the Microsoft Center, which I think I introduced you guys 2 parts ago. And it's actually, again, one of my favorite designs. And my favorite design of the entire thing is the sidewalk area here. Just makes it look and stand out a little bit more. And when we look at the map, it looks like this so far. So this area is brand new. It's only been around for a week or 2 now, if that. You're going to see a lot more realism here with roads, with, you know, greenery, sidewalk size and stuff like that. You're going to see a lot more of that incorporated into the actual design of the city itself. Because I want to make this more of a realistic city at this point. So that's definitely what I'm going for here. So again, we have a underpass going under the highway. These roads are a little bit bigger, as you can tell. And one of my favorite additions, though, is this for the pedestrians can walk across the highway. And it makes a nice little bridge, but it also adds some nice aesthetic appeal to it when you're driving underneath. It just has that appeal of looking modern. It looks very unique. And so I really like that aspect of it. Over here, we're going to have a lot more buildings and stuff like that. I'm not sure if we're going to have skyscrapers here or what, or I'm not sure exactly what I want to do with this space yet. This area right here with the grass, I kind of want to keep that into a grassy area. I'm not sure if I want to put anything in it like trees or anything like that. It kind of looks good plain in my opinion, but I always could think of something else to add later on. Let's see. I'm not sure what to add in this area because you don't really want something right next to the highway. So I'm trying to think again, what can I do with the space that I'm given? Also, one thing you guys might have noticed that I got rid of is there was a big overpass right here. I actually got rid of it because it looked too big. In my opinion, it just didn't fit with everything else. It looked out of place. So I'm actually going to try to figure out something to do with this road and how it's going to connect into everything else. But I just want to give you guys a heads up on that. But really, that's just about it for the city. I mean, obviously, there's a lot that we have not seen because there's a lot of, there's a lot of stuff in the city, and it's impossible to show it all in one video in a reasonable amount of time. But, the city is really coming along with how you look at things, and the river itself is gonna, grow a lot bigger as well. It's also gonna grow a little bit skinnier, more realistic. It's not gonna have flat walls like you have in the city down there. I've been thinking about adding a soccer stadium. There's still a lot of things I have planned that I want to do. It's just getting the time and figuring out the right place for them. Yeah, but I think the city's really coming along. I'm really excited to see where this new downtown area can take me and how it looks in the end. But that's pretty much it for, the past 10 parts and some of the older parts as well. So thank you very much for watching, guys. It is greatly appreciated. Also, if you want to figure out how to make this crane, shout out right here to my own video. I made a crane tutorial. If you want to see how to make this crane for yourself, it's very easy. It's split into 2 parts just to save you guys a little bit of time and hassle on watching a 20-minute video. So yeah, hopefully you guys will enjoy that tutorial as well. So bye bye, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. So have a good day.